here. We are in the really heavy, we are heavily preparing our Trust and Pay hackathon. So we are still in a preparation phase, in a virtual phase, where we have a lot of masterclasses, virtual panels, fireside chats, etc., to prepare our participants in the best possible way. And today we are with Dorothy Fulop. She's expert in pitching, and we are super, super glad to have her here. And yeah, without further go, I would love to hand over the stage to Dorothy to introduce yourself. I already made a post about what will happen today. We made some posts, and also I shared already that we know each other already since a long time, and we also work together. And this is why I'm super, super glad and happy to have you here, because I know from firsthand how impactful your knowledge is, and how you also can transfer the knowledge. So this is not only about having expertise, but also to share that with others in a way that it resonates, and that we can also execute on it. And this is super important for our hackathon, because in the end, everyone needs to pitch and wants to pitch and want to win. So, and this is also why we are super glad that you are in the jury. So you will judge. So this is fantastic. So you can also share from your perspective as a judge what is really important for you to understand, also with the criteria that we already created that are very transparent. Okay, with that, I would love to hand over to you, Dorothy. Introduce yourself, get us started.
Exactly. Thank you, Sabrina. Yeah, that's the goal for today. And I think we're going to start with something very typical when it comes to presenting online. It's a technical difficulty. So this is nerve-wracking for me. My palms are sweating, so I can really imagine like how hard this will be. So I prepared some slides, but when we're trying to share it, it's not jumping to the full screen mode. But so you will see it. It's not going to be big, but at least you can see our faces next to it. So that's not bad. But the important part is that everything where you need to jump back to where is an exercise that you have to go through, all of those will be available in a PDF. So bear with me while I try to share this window. Hopefully you will see something, and just don't mind that you see the header over here.
Fantastic. It's fantastic. It's
Okay.
bigger.
I just
Very
made
good.
the window smaller, and that for some reason made the whole thing
Amazing.
bigger. But I can't jump to a view where the headline would go away. So sorry about
It's
that,
good.
but
Fantastic. No, really fantastic.
okay.
That's very good. And also, just to inform everyone, we will record the session. This is what we also shared with everyone for the hackathon. We shared, we will record it so everyone can re-watch it, or if they had not the opportunity to attend, they can just check it out there.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm going to try to move this along, but Sabrina, bear with me because it jumped to full screen on my end, so I can't see you. So if like something is too fast or not clear enough, just cut me off and please just say something, because I won't be able to
No
see your
worries.
face.
I'm
Okay.
here. Full attention.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. And
I'm your assistant.
you're my eyes and my ears today.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect. Teamwork. Okay. So I'm going to check in with you if the switching also works. And if that does, if it doesn't, I have backup. Like, we will go through this no matter what. If nothing else, I will print the slides and hold it up for you. But we're going to get into pitching
That's also
today.
a nice one. Printing it out and hold it into the camera.
You work with what you have.
A good workaround, yes.
Okay, so let's start it. If anything, if there's a glitch, we're going to work through it. So welcome, everyone. It's really, really nice to have you here today. My name is Dorothy, and I am here to help you deliver the most amazing pitch in just a few days. I'll be one of, like Sabrina said, I'll be one of your judges on Saturday. But today, I'm your coach, I'm your cheerleader, I'm your friend. So I'm trying to do my best to teach you everything that I know about pitching. For years, I ran an agency where we created pitch decks for startups. And I really like doing that because, in my opinion, pitching is really about sharing ideas. So, according to that, do you see a slide change in the slide right now?
No.
Did it switch to masterclass in sharing
So now,
ideas?
I see masterclass on pitching with you and your name.
Okay, that's not good.
Don't worry.
Because
But
it should say,
okay, okay, friends. Dorothy did that on purpose. I trust. You did that on purpose just to make them more at ease if something is happening throughout the pitch on Saturday,
it
right?
always happens. Like in my experience,
Yeah, it
something
happened.
always happens.
Yes,
And
100%.
yeah, don't worry about it. Like it for judges, like we know that it happens. And first of all, you feel a little bit more sorry for someone that happens with, so you will give them like a few extra credits for making up for that. Okay, so the slide still didn't change at all,
Maybe
right?
you can just refresh or just stop
No
sharing and
worries. No
start
worries.
sharing again, maybe?
Can you see sharing ideas right now? Masterclass and sharing
Master,
ideas.
exactly, yes.
Oh, perfect. Then it changed because it started with masterclass on pitching. Now it's masterclass on sharing ideas. Pay really good
Okay.
attention. Did it
Oh,
change to
yeah.
something else?
Okay.
Is it masterclass on
Sharing ideas.
still? Oh, if I,
Connection. Connection. Yes, now it's connection. Maybe
this
it
is a
takes a
weird
bit.
way. It's a way bigger of a teaser than what I intended to do. So what I'm going to do is I have some show notes for me, which are important because I
Mhm.
will have some exact ideas. I'm just gonna like read them when there's time for that, but I'm gonna like double tap because it looks like when I go full screen, the whole
Mhm.
connection is lost. And
Mm,
connection
okay.
will be important today.
Yeah,
Okay.
because this is masterclass on connection.
This couldn't have turned out better. Oh my God. Sorry about this. Okay. So let's go back and let's do this with this new setup like a professional. Welcome everyone. This is a
Mhm.
masterclass on pitching, or as I like to say, it's a masterclass on sharing ideas, and even better,
Mhm.
it's a masterclass on building connection by making a fool of yourself and not being able to share your screen. No,
Okay, connection established now.
connection check. Let's go real professional. Okay, so if I look
Mhm.
down, sorry about that. I just want to make sure that I don't miss anything. Whew. Okay, so nowadays I used to do this agency where we created pitches, but since pitching is all about establishing a connection, now I just work directly with founders and CEOs, and that's what I do. I work with them, and we turn the most impersonal online transactions and any interaction between a company and its clients to something amazing, like a really nice connection and a relationship over just a regular transaction. That's very common out there. So today, if you read between the lines, it's not so subtle, but it's going to be all about connection because that's really, really important when you're delivering a great pitch. Okay. I'm going to move on. The transaction is going to be a little bit less smooth, but hey, it worked.
So
So
we see great pitch. Yes.
perfect. That's our goal today, to create a great pitch for every one of you on Saturday. That's my main goal. But also, I have a secondary goal to just teach you a different way to look at businesses And we will go through a framework that then you can use to build your pitch. And I hope that you also will get this new way of thinking about running a business and not just doing business, but building your brand and building these connections with your audience. Okay, so before we just start with the framework, we need to go through like a super, super short little lecture about presentation and pitching in general. So I'm going to start with that. I made it really easy for you because it will be easy to remember. We're going to talk about 3 C's. The first C is contrast. So to have this connection with your audience, the most important thing is that you have to capture their attention. You can do it with something fun as having a technical difficulties, but also that was, I promise, it wasn't like a sleazy trick. It was just tech in its best. But when it comes to capturing your audience's attention, we're going to use something that is really deeply ingrained in our minds. So back in the day, differentiation and the spotting contrast was a matter of life and death. So if you saw just a regular forest and it was green and nothing happened, you felt safe. If there was movement, your brain instantly spot the contrast between forest that's not moving and the tiny spot that's moving. And it either signaled that there is something that's trying to kill you, or there is something that would be a delicious dinner. It's either something very bad or something very good, but the signal of contrast is really, really strongly in our brains. So nowadays, the same logic applies. Our minds, like our world changed a lot, but our minds didn't. So when you see something that's different from its surroundings, that's a super easy way to grab someone's attention. So contrast is going to be our first tool, first rule. We're going to try to do something that the jury or future investors or just your audience hasn't seen before. Because when you show a pitch deck based on a template, it's going to be really, really hard for people to just have a different opinion about it if it's the very same template that they've seen a billion times. So I'm not saying that you have to turn into an amazing designer and you can't use a template that you found online. It's just using that template and making it your own. That step is really, really important because very likely someone who looks at a lot of pitches has seen your deck. And there was like a few years ago, back when I was still doing the agency, these figures, they were like in every third pitch. And it just signaled that, oh yeah, okay, like they didn't put a lot of time and energy into it. So creating this contrast in your surrounding, which is everyone else who's pitching, and your pitch is a great tool when it comes to visuals, but also when it comes to the way you talk about what you do. And I'm going to show you 2 examples that you probably heard of. We help this person to do this thing with our amazing stuff. I bet you heard that phrase, like tailored to someone's specific services or business. Or you probably heard the even worse, we are the Uber of something. We are the Netflix, the Airbnb, or like these claims are really, really common. And when you hear them, first of all, I heard them a billion times. I never heard them in a situation where that was true. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to create a pitch where it uses any of these templates, because we have something even better. And that something better comes from this amazing person called Nancy Duarte. If you want to learn about presentation design, she is the presentation goddess of Silicon Valley. She's really amazing. And one of her best sentences that I like to quote is this one. And this is why we're not going to do what everyone else does. Because people, they do fall asleep during, they don't fall asleep during conversations, but they do fall asleep during presentations. And I think it's brilliant. And I even thought this was brilliant before I saw an investor fall asleep on a pitch event. And that was just heartbreaking to see someone. It was on Zoom.
So it's true. So you saw someone falling asleep.
I heard this quote before,
Okay.
and then I saw that in live action, and it was just
Oh,
horrifying because this guy, it was an older gentleman, and he just fell back to sleep like mouth wide open. I assume he was snoring, but like at least he wasn't silent. And that was just, my heart broke for the company who was presenting because I felt like there's no matter how amazing their idea is, this guy is snoring. They will miss out on the whole thing. So that is so valuable. And no matter like if you have the best idea, the best presentation, and yet your audience is asleep, it really doesn't make any sense. So we're going to make sure that we're not presenting and we're not talking at our audience, but much rather we have a conversation. And Sabrina, you're doing an amazing job to make this a two-way conversation and not just me talking for an hour straight. But yeah, hopefully, at least for you, today will not be a complete snooze. And that's the goal, not just when you're pitching, but when you as a company talk to your audience, your customers, your clients, you want to engage them with a conversation, and then it will lead to this simple soft skill gesture will lead to very tangible things like email open rates, social media engagement rates, which are really, really hard to buy if you don't invest this gesture and this way of talking to your people in it. So we're going to create a conversation. And the reason why we're doing that is our second C, which is connection. So we had the power of connection as a second one. The first one was the power of the
conversation.
contrast. Yeah.
Ah,
So
and conversation. Okay.
contrast was the first one, spotting the difference, doing something else what everyone else does. And conversation, this could have been conversation, to be honest, but I use it as connection. The conversation part was just the build up for this. But
Absolutely. Yeah. You're totally right. Sorry for just
no,
pushing that, but it's
good
yeah,
remark.
so right, because this is what matters. The connection matters, and we are reaching the goal with conversation,
That's a
right?
really good tool. Conversations. And what I want to talk about, stories are a great tool to build connection with people. The background here that you see, that's a story. And again, just like our urge to pay attention to the forest and anything that moves in it, our urge to tell stories and paint them on cave walls is equally old. Like that's so ingrained in our nature. If something exciting happened to you, you went on a hunt, you want to tell people about it. You want to relive that. You want to share that story. And that's why we read stories to our kids. This is a very strong bonding experience for every human being, no matter which culture they're from. But building connections through stories is really, really strong. And it's really strong even when you're pitching or introducing a product. I'm going to show you an example. Have you seen this commercial, this ad, even this image before? It's really likely that you don't recognize what's what this is about, although it lists all the amazing features. It talks about the hard work that engineers put in it. It talks about all the innovative solutions. But this is not the story. Spoiler, Apple chose to share with the world. The story they told was this one. It's an old school example, but still a good one. Their story was
Yes.
a super short one. It was 1,000 songs in your pocket. That sentence in itself is a way more powerful story than the list of these features. So with this, even this tiny mini story, it is so much easier to relate and to connect with a company, with a product, with a service. And this type of connection is what we want with our audience. Okay, so we have contrast, we have connection. We have the third one, which based on the guys who are cleaning windows, maybe you can guess that this will be clarity. And this is a tricky beast because very often this is the hardest one, especially for experts. Um, there, this is likely the only time when your experience and your intelligence work against you. Um, because you very likely spend a lot of time on your idea. You're an expert in your field. It's impossible for you to see what you did, your idea, with fresh eyes. And it's really hard for you to tell your story to someone who is brand new to the idea. On the other hand, even if that wasn't a problem, you are probably way smarter in your field than your audience. So, to make things worse, you are also probably surrounded with very smart people, just like and this location in the US. And even if you ask someone if your pitch or your communication is clear enough, people surrounded by you, they know the same things, they know you, they know what you've been working on. So your feedback will be flawed from the very beginning. The problem with that is that your audience is brand new to this and they haven't heard of it. So your intelligence and your experience is working against you. But don't worry, we have a solution for that. And that thing is called information layering. This is a tool that will help you explain concepts really, really detailed in the right order so your audience retains most of what you said. It's a very easy concept. It just starts with a hook. And if you haven't noticed, I just did that with you. I introduced this concept called information layering, which is, by the way, a totally made up thing. I just made it up when I was creating this slide. But still, I told you what this is going to be about. Information layering. So you had something to rely on. You knew where your mind could rest for a little bit. We're going to talk about probably information and we're going to layer it somehow. If you know these two words, the whole concept is not that strange to you. I could have started with the depth of this concept and make you very confused and probably lost your attention. But with this, I just told you just enough that you hear that, okay, she's going to talk about information layering. Okay, what now? And this what now question is the edge we want to keep our audience on. It's way better if they're in a mindset where they want to ask something. Worst case scenario, we never answer that question and they're going to ask it when we're done talking. But they will be always on the edge, just hungry for a little bit more, just a little bit more information. And we are just feeding these tiny bits of information. You can picture it as a drop-down menu. Like you select the main category and then go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. But if you would just start with 5 layers in, it won't make any sense. I hope this way it did. And to make sure that the information layers are simple enough, there is an amazing test. It's risky, but it's a lot of fun. We call it the grandma test. Maybe some of you heard of it. Basically, what you need to do is you have to pick your favorite boomer or senior citizen or just your grandma, like an elderly, probably a little bit impatient person who has nothing to do with your field. And you want to explain them what you're doing. You have to deliver the pitch to them. And it's a little nerve-wracking. Like it's going to be very frustrating to like start over again and over again and over again. But very likely a grandma that's really invested in you, who pays attention to you, who loves you, has probably the same level of attention as a stranger. For example, a jury member, an investor, or just a stranger that really doesn't care of you that much as your relative, even if they're in the same field. So if you can explain what you do and what your idea is all about to a grandma, then you can probably do a really good job explaining it to someone who is an expert in your field. So that's my challenge for you. Before Saturday, find someone who doesn't know anything about your idea and try to talk to them. It's going to be very frustrating, but your pitch will thank you for it later.
That's a good challenge.
It's a challenge, but a good one. So here we have it, the 3 C's: contrast, connection, clarity. And I would love for you to have these on your mind constantly. Just think about it. Just know that whatever you do when you're building your pitch and even your company, but you always have to like run it through this test. Does it have enough contrast with everything surrounding it, what everyone else does? Does it build a connection with the audience being judges or someone who is your customer or client? And am I being clear enough? And by clear, I really mean simple. So that was the pitch lesson part of our call. And I think we're running a little bit late. So unless there are some questions, I want to jump straight into the framework part. How do you feel about that, Sabrina?
I feel good. I have a question. I
Yeah, go
already
ahead.
wrote that down from the beginning. Because you mentioned the templates, and I think this is like a default situation that everyone just take a template, filling out something is much easier. And this is also what we talked about before. But you mentioned especially these, I have seen these illustrations a million times before. What about AI pitches? I think this is something that is coming more and more. You just create a prompt, you create some, some content, and then the AI is doing your pitch.
I've
I just,
seen.
I just want to understand. Maybe we can also talk about that a bit more later. But maybe to use it like a template and make it your own, like you already said, make it your own.
This could be a whole workshop on its own, like AI in the, like, how do you build connection in the time of AI? Like that would be an amazing thing to do. But actually, I still believe for now, might change, but for now, AI is a tool. And the way we use it makes it really good or really bad. So if you can save time or get inspired or just come up with ideas with the help of I think that's really, really good. That's let's not make our work a lot harder. If it's just AI and everything else is missing, you will probably not check the first box, which is contrast.
Mhm.
You can train AI that it behaves differently when you talk to it versus someone else, but it works from the same knowledge. So unless you modify it, I've seen some amazing pitches that were done with AI, and I've seen some that were just so painfully
Mm.
AI blank that, again, it I dropped my attention in the very first second and never picked it up. So
Mm.
it really depends.
Yeah.
It's an amazing tool. If you do it well, it's
Mm.
it can save you a lot of time, a lot of energy, no matter if it's the graphics or the voice that reads it. Go ahead, use it, just make it your own. I think that's
Mm.
important.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for the great question. Okay, so let's jump ahead because we have a lot of things to cover. We have, as judges, on Saturday, 7 different criterias that we're going to look at your pitches. And when Sabrina asked me to do this workshop, I figured, again, this is another mindset thing that I suggest everyone to try. What's the goal? What would give the people in this workshop the best outcome? And I figured, why not share the 7 criteria with you? And that's what I decided to do. So you're going to hear the 7 criteria on pitching that judges will use. And I want to like let you behind the curtain and see what goes on in our minds. And I'm going to share the most important question that you can answer. And all of this will be on the printout. So you don't have to do it right now. You can just either watch the recording again or just take this PDF and just walk through. If you want, you can always take a screenshot right now because it's going to be the same thing. But if you message me, I'm happy to send you the PDF where only the important parts are. So we're going to walk through all 7 criteria. I'm going to tell you what it's all about. And then I'm going to tell you a really bad solution for it. Like if we have to give you points from 1 to 10, I try to show you the one that's worth 1 point and the one that it would get a 10. So this way, hopefully, you're not only understand the concept, but we'll see what a bad solution and what a good solution looks like. Okay? Good.
Sounds great.
Perfect. So we're going to start with the first criteria, which is innovation and originality. And this is the part where I will read stuff for you because I have like very specific 10-point and 1-point sentences. So sorry about that. But we're going to start with innovation and originality. This is going to be a really weird reminder for everyone, not just for pitches, but also for business in general. Something that I have to keep reminding myself as a business owner. Ideas that spread are not usually better, they're different. Again, contrast, remember? If your idea sounds like 5 others that we heard that day, it becomes invisible. It could be better. It could be really good. But if it's similar than the rest, then probably it will go unnoticed. So this is the rule for innovation and originality. Innovation is different, not better, faster, cheaper. It is different. So remember always the first C, contrast. I want to tell you like a weak signal of innovation that's like, oh, this exists, but we made it a little bit better. For example, It's super vague, but if we say we use AI to improve HR efficiency, that's maybe true. Maybe your idea is amazing, but it's so forgettable that it won't land with the audience. It's originality and being innovative is not about claiming that you're the only one and you're the only one doing this. That also sometimes just shows that your research was poor. And if one of the judges or the investors or your audience knows that's not true, that will be a huge minus. Um, Originality is just about clear contrast. So a simple way to turn that sentence, we use AI to improve HR efficiency, would be using contrast. This is not another HR dashboard. It's a decision co-pilot for managers who hate dashboards but still need to make fair people decisions. So it instantly gets rid of all your competition that claim that they are an HR tool. So the questions that you want to use here, so you are going to aim for different, not just improve. And you could use this formula of this is not another ... solution. It's for people who, or it's for a specific problem that. So always try to phrase it in a way where it's for a specific, it solves a specific problem, or it's for a specific group of people. Okay, so that's about innovation and originality. Aim for difference. That was probably the easiest one. Let's move on to the next one, which is relevance and regional impact. This one, our main question here, is this idea more relevant right here, right now? Is the problem that you're solving really, for some reason, really big in your region? Is it very specific to the people living there? Or is the solution only be found in this region? If none of those are truth, it doesn't, I'm not saying that your idea is not amazing, but it's not regionally grounded. So the questions that we want to answer here is why here, and also why now? Here are your exercises or your questions for number 2. Who and what is impacted by the problem? And also, like, if you can phrase that and the answer is, this problem is very specific to the region and the people in the region are specifically, they are affected by this problem, you're probably going to score high on relevance and regional impact. A little test that you could run is to imagine that you would deliver the same pitch anywhere else on the earth without changing anything in it. Would that work? If it works, it's probably not regional enough. It's probably not specific enough. So you can go, as long as your idea allows, you can go way more specific with that. Okay. Are you still with me? Is this super fast? Because we have 5 more to go. Okay. I'm going to speed up a little bit. Technical feasibility is the next one. We, as judges, we're not asking for your idea to sound amazing. We want to see if it's real. Nobody gets fooled by this big promise if there is no reality within it. So a really weak sign would be like a huge promise and no realistic next steps. And jumping that back to the very first part, the very first criteria, big visions are absolutely welcome, but it's but feasibility, it's really shown by the awareness of limits and not just a big promise. So feasibility will be always credibility. Um, you have to be aware of what already exists today and what it needs to be still developed to make this a reality. The
May I
exercises, yeah, sure.
may I jump in here? Maybe I
Yeah.
you have more to address here. Because we already had sessions, technical sessions, also in this preparation phase, and we are supporting the use of different, let's say, APIs, so things
Yep.
that you can use, no code, etc. And we also always clarified, and this is why I want to take the chance again here at this point. It's not about that you create the tech; it's about creating the concept. So, and it should be, you know, something tangible. It shouldn't be just, yeah, an AI will do it.
Yep.
This would be
Exactly.
not enough. But if you tell us, I'm using the Fetch AI, I created an agent, or we will create the AI agent in that way, XYZ. We have these kind of concept for creating it, and it will interact in that way, and it will have the APIs here, XYZ. And you don't need to build it, but if you create a concept like that, maybe also visualize it a bit and don't be too technical. So I think this would be much more, much better. This would be more in direction 10 than if I would say, yeah, and then I just go on the agentic agent words, and I take an agent there. So
Yeah, like the next
thanks.
step with AI is an easy step. We can just do it. Like that is, I think, more wishful thinking than an actual technical feasibility. So my questions that I listed here are really, really similar to Sabrina's. Is can it be built now or soon? Like, does the technology exist that we want to use to do this? What of the resources already exists? What is something that we already did? And also, listing what needs to be done is not a sign of weakness or unreadiness. It's a sign it's a sign of being prepared. And admitting the limits is not going to make you score low. It just shows that, oh, they see it clearly. So, especially at this stage, you don't have to show us how amazing it will be with a click. It just, this is our plan to do it. Okay, number 4. This is my favorite. You would have guessed. You have a very simple task here. Show us how it's used. And if you caught it, I didn't say tell us how it's used. Show us. How can you make it an experience for us? Can you put it in our hands, even if we're far away? Like, how can you make this your vision so vivid that we're all of a sudden part of it? And this is not the time for the complete documentation or the list of features. We want a real person using the product. We want to see that and not just you telling us what it's capable of. So the rule here is, if I can picture it, I can trust it. And trust is the relationship you want to build with judges, investors, and your audience. So who is the user? When do they use it? What problems are they solving right then? For example, I have an example here that will probably highlight this: how to tell a story versus how to just list the features. Customers, the bad example is customers enter the shop, place an order, wait, and receive a drink. It's a perfect description of a coffee shop. But when I say, so this is correct, this is not wrong, but it's not a good pitch. It could be a good idea. It's not a good pitch. And if the pitch is not good, the idea can get lost. So it doesn't help us remember anything. And there's a better way of doing it. So if I tell you that I had a really rough night. I was tossing and turning. And then in the morning, it was super messy. I woke up late and I had to make things worse, I forgot to make my coffee at home. And on my way to work, I had to stop at a coffee shop and I was tired and a little grumpy. But the barista knew my name, they knew my order. And 2 minutes later, my day felt a lot better and more manageable. You instantly could picture me running around being frantic and the ease this coffee shop gave me. So, this kind of storytelling is way easier to remember than what were the steps I told you when I just described the whole idea. Okay, this was the power of storytelling.
I can so
Um,
much picture you running in that coffee shop.
Well, you know me. You can probably, you know what? You probably seen it. Like you've seen me on one of those
I,
mornings. But
I
yeah,
can I can feel it. I can feel it. So I can also see myself in that. So that's
that's true. That's
powerful.
true.
Yeah.
So to craft a story like that, think about who is the user, when, in what life situation do they use it, and what problem are they trying to solve right then and there. So a sentence that you could build up and then twist it in a way that it fits you is when something happens, this certain person uses our product to fix this problem. Okay. Next one, we're flying through. Business model and economic viability. This slide is the one where I think I saw the worst solutions in my whole life. It's really rare that we see a good business model slide or a good explanation of a business model. Usually,
Now I'm so curious.
that's a tricky
Now I'm
one.
curious. Yes.
So a good business model explains who gets the value, who pays, and why paying makes sense. It's not about money, and it's only about clarity. I'm going to give you an example of a weak business model. It sounds, and probably heard this before. We offer a free version, a premium version, and later add partnerships and ads. That's really typical. Or the other one, companies pay for this to improve efficiency. This is basically just air. Like I have nothing to hold on to in that. So this is bad because it's really unclear who pays, why they pay, and it really sounds just unsure. So in many cases, I see pitches where they leave this whole concept out, which is such a tragedy because we're not just talking about idea, we're talking about businesses. To have a business model, it makes like it's pretty important. Even if you don't have exact numbers, you could say something like that. Busy parents pay $10 on a monthly subscription because it saves them time on their morning routine where every minute counts. I know who the user is, I know the amount, the frequency, and the why. Another example for you. A school hires us when students start dropping out because replacing students costs more than keeping them. Again, I know who's paying, I know why they're paying, and I know the exact moment when they're making this. So it's going to be very important to just imagine what happens. We don't need numbers if you don't have them. You just need to show us the logic behind the numbers. So, who is happy to pay for this and why? And then, if you want some further questions, who pays? When do they pay? Like, what triggers a purchase? What are they paying to avoid or to get? So, are they paying because they want something or are they paying because they want to avoid something? So the sentence that I put together for you is someone pays when something happens, because they want to achieve something or avoid something. Okay, we have 2 more to go. I hope you're with me. You're doing amazing. Next one, equally risky, is the go-to-market strategy. Again, this I've seen 2 versions. I've seen some good ones, but some typical bad ones are either just not talking about it at all, or just being overly confident. And go-to-market strategy is not about growth. It's about beginning. It's how you enter the market. And that idea gets lost really fast because everyone thinks that if the idea is big enough, then it will look better. But it just says that, oh, it's just confusing. So the question we're looking for here is, how do the first people find you? And the first should be underlined. So a common mistake is to talk about scaling too early and saying everyone is our customer, which usually doesn't mean that, oh, the market is huge. It usually says that no one is the customer, really. If it's nobody's favorite, if it's everyone's favorite, it's usually nobody's favorite. So a good pitch shows that a good pitch and a good go-to-market strategy shows one crystal clear first step. So here we go with the examples again. A bad example, which is super common, would be, we will launch online, use social media and influencers, and grow globally and go viral. This is not a strategy.
This is really
This is so common. Like, I hear it so often. And it's not a mistake because it's confusing. And I can see the pressure of, oh, we should go something, like we should say something huge so they believe in us. But you do the exact opposite, like the effect will be the exact opposite. Because from this simple sentence, what we hear is, oh, they don't have a first user, then they don't have a clear entry point, and there's no reason to start right now. And even I don't know where they would start, and probably they don't know it either. Whereas if you want to have the good version, something much better would be, we start with family-owned restaurants in our city near the office districts that are busy at lunch but empty in the evenings. Even that's so specific, even me, who probably never visited their city, could go there and find their first 10 customers within a week. And that shows me that, okay, they probably can do it even better since they're there and know their city. So this is how clear we want to go with this one. So the questions we have to ask here is, who uses this first, and go as specific as possible. Like this sentence was pretty specific. How do they hear about it? Like what will make this first people come to you? And how do they try it now? Why do they try it now? What's the reason that it's urgent for them, not just eventually in the future when it goes viral? Okay. And we made it to the last one, which is the pitch and the long-term vision. So a good pitch paints a really clear and relatable vision. If you do that one thing alone, it will predict how well your pitch is going to be received. A very common mistake in this one is jumping too far into the future to the point where it's viral and everyone uses it. It sounds good, but it does the exact opposite. It's a big empty promise, and it's really hard to believe for someone. And anything that vague or that big, it's just a warning sign that, oh, they don't know what they're doing. So a strong vision, it does not promise everything. It just shows the direction that's very reasonable. It connects today to tomorrow. This is what we have right now, and this is what we are planning to do. A bad way of talking about the vision in your pitch is just talking someday this will happen. It's a connection between today and tomorrow. It shows what you focus on right now, and it shows that this focus will lead to this focus will unlock the future. In if the next this There's a trick there. If the next steps feel real, people who hear about it will automatically believe that the long-term vision will also happen. So again, here's a bad example and then a good one. A bad one would be, in 5 years, we'll be the leading platform in the region used by everyone. That is pretty vague. It's a really empty promise with nothing tangible, nothing to relate to, and also no really believable next steps are there. So a better way, again, is going to be very clear and very focused on something. It would sound something like that. We start with one ice cream shop and prove repeat demand. Then we scale to 5 locations using the same system. Long term, we franchise the model so anyone can open a profitable ice cream parlor with our brand and our playbook. This way, you see the roadmap. It's not just this mirage fantasy. It has a clear focus on right now. It also shows that they have ambition to grow it to eventually something big. The problem is relatable. The growth path is also pretty believable, and there's no like vague hype around it. So that's it, folks. You have the 3 C's. You have the framework. If you have any questions, I can stay a little longer. I can answer them, or if you feel more comfortable, you can just reach out to me on LinkedIn and I can send you the PDF. Thank you so much. Oh, wait, here is your question. Sorry for the last one. I forgot to skip it. Yeah, why should we believe in your vision? What are you focused on right now? What is possible if you follow that path? So that's your exercise number 7. And thank you so much for your attention. And then, yeah, good luck on Saturday.
Thank you so much. A big applause. A big applause for you. Yeah, thank you. Everyone applauding. That's nice to have these these features.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you,
thank you so
everyone.
much. Thank you so much, Dorothy. It was super relatable, and also I have something in my mind. I just wanted to share that as well, because you said in the end you picture this. How would the long-term vision? Should it look like? And what I just wanted to add, this is something where you can also relate to where it might break, and you already can see how it could be fixed because it's very tangible, it's very clear. So yeah, I just wanted to add that. So super nice. So turning the criteria into something that they can, use questions and really work on it. Maybe as a last question, and please, everyone in the audience, if you have any questions, please write it into the chat or speak up. But so these are the criteria, and you gave everyone who will work on the pitches a very good let's say a cheat sheet, really good checklist to work on the pitch. Would you say, I was thinking the whole time, because when you make a pitch, you want to start and then, make it a round story. Is there anything where you say, okay, this is how you should start with, this is what you should add in the end? Is there anything, this is what you shouldn't miss? Is there any order or something you would like to share in addition?
It really varies. Like sometimes there are different ways to approach it. Sometimes it's a lot easier to start with a problem that you're solving. If that's a really, if that's a problem that people can easily relate to it, and then you can answer it with the solution. That's one way to start. Maybe it's a very personal reason that you had this idea. Then you can start with your team and introducing how you came to this solution. I think probably the problem, the solution, and your story are the strongest hooks.
Mhm.
That's the one where you really want to start with it. Or if your idea is this amazing business opportunity, then you don't want to waste time on these and you just want to go to
Mm.
the go to market or the business model slide and tell them that, hey, if you put in this much money, this much will come out. And the second, this much will be like at least 1,000 times bigger than the first one. So it really depends
Mhm.
what is the strongest part of your
Mm.
story.
That's a
Um,
good one. What is the strongest part of your story? I like that. Yes.
and that's
Okay.
sometimes very hard to tell when you're
Mm.
in the story, like you're many
Mhm.
cases really strong. Again, a good test for that would be to just tell your pitch and just tell it to someone who doesn't know you and ask
Mhm.
them what is something they remembered. If it's the
Mhm.
pain point, then maybe start with that and emphasize that. If the
Mhm.
solution is so amazing, then highlight that. And if they only remember that, oh, there's really a good opportunity to do business with, then maybe that, but it's something that it's probably easier from the
Mhm.
outside.
Okay. So, if the team is struggling with finding their main point, even if they just have kind of done their best to, with all these criteria, telling their story, I think then they have a good chance to win. Because even if maybe the order isn't like the best, but the points itself are really strong because they thought through it and they have an edge, they are different, etc. So I think then it also will be a very strong pitch.
I think the safest way to go is to highlight the problem. If you can paint the problem really vividly, so we understand it, that, oh my God, like this needs to be solved right now, um,
Mhm.
then we're on the hook. And I've never seen, I, I rarely seen someone overdo it. I really often saw it being not dramatic or clear enough. So when you're explaining it, think more about a commercial, how they tell a story versus a university lecture. Um,
Mm.
Try to really find something that anyone can relate to and tell that story in a
Mhm.
way that we will be all invested in it. Because if we're invested, we will pay attention for the rest of it. If we don't care, then no matter how amazing the numbers are, we might miss it.
Mhm. Sounds good. Thank you. Tanya, you want to add
Yeah,
something?
that's exactly the point that I will jump in. It's also related to the audience. So when I pitch for experts, for example, in the B2B area, and I pitch for business or tech guys, and I pitch my tech idea, it's a different way maybe to pitch that, as I pitch it here in the hackathon, or I pitch for investors. Sometimes the investors in the business angel stage, they're agnostic, so they're not only have really a knowledge about the technology and the stuff, so they like the ideas, they see the problems, or they see the go-to-market. So that's the only one what I want to add. So sometimes I think it's very also related to the audience where I present my pitch.
Tanya, that's a really good sign that you're having conversations with your audience. If it changes, then it's very likely a conversation. If your tone changes, if you think about how you talk to your parents, your partner, your old high school friends, it's slightly different. It's probably a different version of you, and that changes with your audience. So if you are able to do that with your audience when you're talking about your idea or business, that's a really, really good sign that you have the empathy to build this connection with them. And if you only pitch or present, then people probably will not pay as much attention. If you almost translate your idea to their world, just think about as in languages, like if it was just Sabrina, Tanya, and I, we probably would have this conversation in German. If it was my husband and me, we would have this conversation in Hungarian. But if if I knew more languages, we could do something else. But like you have this agreement with your audience that, okay, this will be the easiest way to share my ideas with you. And the same goes with languages and also how you pitch.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. And I think we recommend, if they don't watch the whole session, at least the one where you talk about the criteria to the judges and to the mentors and also to the participants. But also for the mentors, it would be very, very fantastic preparation, because then they have also something in hand to prepare the teams better and to help them to create their pitch and to guide them. So we are especially grateful for having this amazing session. It was really, really valuable. I also learned a lot. So we talked about these kind of things several times, but still every time it's a reinforcement, is a refreshment. So thank you so much. And yeah, thank you to all the participants here. And we are really excited about getting started very soon.
Thank you. Thank you. And in the meantime, if you need the printout version, just find me on LinkedIn and I'm happy to share the PDF. And good luck, everyone. See you on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye. Bye-bye. Oh, Oren, you said something, but we couldn't hear you. You said bye-bye. Okay.
Bye, Oren.
Bye, Oren. Bye, Dorothy. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you want me to stay on for a little longer, or we will just chat?
That would be fantastic. Just a sec.
Just stop the recording and then we can start.
Yeah, I try. I try.